Dr. Homebrew is brought to you by 5 Star Chemicals, providing safety and cleaning supplies for brewing, distilling, and winemaking at 5starchemicals.com.
Doctor, look.
Stand aside, nurse. I'm Dr. Homebrew.
Yeah, clear.
Everybody, sitting in another sweaty studio. It's hot in here.
Slaving away over the console.
Why don't you go outside with all the people? It's a little cooler out there.
I don't want to do that because of all the people. There's almost too many people in here. And it's just you, me, and Brian.
It's just because we're in here talking about wood and bourbon.
And bourbon and more wood. Whatever. Anyway, we do have a really good show for you today. Not only do we have a Brett beer to go over, but we're back on our commercial calibration shows, which we kind of didn't really do them, and I think we started just kind of not doing them, trying to space them out, right, Brian?
We got too many good homebrews.
But now we got too many good homebrews, and so anyway.
Time to go back to basics here.
Go back to basics. So this is actually not a customer, a listener request for Pilsner Urquell, which is essentially a beer that everybody can probably find. What I didn't understand or what I didn't know is that they're not in green bottles anymore. They're in brown bottles.
Yeah.
When the fuck did that happen?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's before this year. I got some in January, and it was in brown bottles already.
Huh.
It was news to me till Brian told me.
Right.
And then I got looking for it. I was actually looking for some other kind of container, like a can or a mini keg or something that wouldn't be light struck.
Only you would buy a mini keg of Pilsner Urquell just to do a commercial calibration on the show. Just go overkill.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's me.
That's what I'm saying. I like it.
But so anyway, I couldn't find it, but I was amazed at the brown bottles.
Well, I was at a concert. I actually went out.
No way.
A week or two.
People around?
A lot of people.
Oh, man. Is Nelson still playing?
No, we went to saw Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait. Who dragged you to that?
Taryn.
Because you usually make fun of that crap.
Well, I'll tell you what. So we have there's a couple listeners, actually, who are in the road crew and sound crew. And we've become good friends with them. And so they're like, dude, anytime we're here, just let us know and we'll get you into the show. So we always go backstage and hang out with the soundy people. And we have the headphones on and we just kind of hang out so we don't go fight the crowd or whatever. And look, those guys play with some sauce, man. They make good music.
I like Dave Matthews.
Yeah?
It's another hippie jam band.
Jam band.
So it's the stuff that I like anyway, but everybody bags on it. Except for the people that are just,
and I will say I used to do it, and what I didn't like about his music was the weird tweaking of the voice that he did. I was like, I didn't really get it. But he doesn't do that.
He didn't do
at least live. He doesn't.
Yeah.
And they friggin' kick ass live. They're a really fun band and they have a fun. And I don't know, man. Maybe it's I'm getting older, but I like seeing bands have fun on stage.
Yeah. That's why all the Matthews fans just love going to the live shows.
Yeah.
I got a couple friends that are just rabid.
They're tight.
Well, look, hey man, look at their tour. And if you wherever they're playing, let me know.
Super tight.
And
So
I'll try to get you in
next month on Jam Band's podcast.
Jam Band podcast.
We're going to talk about the string cheese incident.
But
I do have tickets to.
All right.
String cheese.
Nice.
What was I telling? Oh yeah. So the reason I started telling about this story is a part of the going backstage is you get into the lounge. You have a lounge back there with free drinks and free snacks and little sandwiches and just they load you up, right?
I've been backstage.
Yes, you have. That's right. And they had, at this place in San Francisco, they had tall boy cans of Pilsner Urquell.
Huh.
For free. Cans.
It wasn't
tall
plastic
boys.
bottles.
But still, it's just cans. I would have been happy with.
Right.
Yeah.
Tall boys.
Nice.
So we go back.
A freeway bag with that?
And just and you're just walking around and they're different designed cans. Yeah. So it kind of threw me. I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't expect a tall can to be Pilsner Urquell. So they're out there, and I'm hoping that they're in the Bay Area, that they don't just get hauled around with the crew or anything like that. Yeah. And we're going to start seeing them around because I really like Pilsner Urquell.
Did you like it in the can?
I love it in the can. I love canning.
Yeah, it looks like they switched back to brown bottles towards the end of 2014, actually. So the beer was originally packaged in brown bottles, but then in the 80s they switched to green. Maybe just to blend
like
in with all their imports.
Thing?
I don't know.
Or get blended with the Heineken.
Sure.
Those UV rays.
That's interesting that they went back. They used to be in brown bottles. Huh.
There's other breweries that have done that too, that have switched from green to brown. So I don't know of any besides this that have switched back and forth, but there may be.
That is weird. Well, before we get too far into it, which I feel like we already have, I want to talk about our fine sponsor, 5 Star. You can go to 5starchemicals.com and learn all about the virtues of 5 Star. You don't clean and sanitize with one product. We keep saying it, and I still keep seeing people in the chat rooms and in forums say I got this new thing where you can do both and save time. No, it's kind of like you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you get something for free, it's probably not going to be as great, unless it's like a free Tesla or something like that. With 5 Star, they tell you, and they've done these tests, you have to clean it first and you sanitize it. You clean it with PBW, sanitize it with Star San. That's just what you do.
Otherwise, you're just going to have crappy beer.
Otherwise, you're going to have crappy beer. And we know crappy beer.
All too well.
So anyway, check them out. They're lovely people. They make a lot of really great products. They're all over the homebrew scene. Any event that you're at that's has some weight to it, like NHC. They're always at NHC. So be sure to stop by their booth, especially this year in Baltimore, and say hi and meet the people. Nicole, I think, will be out there, and just thank them very much for being a part of Dr. Homebrew. We really count on their support.
Not to fear the foam.
That's right. Never fear the foam, people.
Or in my case, when I had a little problem with a blow-off going in reverse, for chilling the... Yeah, anyway.
Sucked a little in?
Sucking with the negative pressure.
Get a little suckage?
Yeah.
I've had that, too.
Basically, they said not to worry about it.
Yeah, I've done it. I've had a blow-off in a big 2-gallon jug, and...
A quart of Star San sitting in there.
And drink it back in. And then I've siphoned it back off of the beer.
Well, basically...
Because it's layered or whatever.
Yeah, what I've done is I forgot to pull the blow-off tube out, and I pull a sample off the conical, and I just see it go right in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
And then I go,
Yeah, right.
I've done it more than a few times.
Yeah, from what I understand, the yeast will metabolize it, anything that, in there, and it's just kind of...
And
it's non-toxic.
Doesn't touch the flavor of the beer. It's if it was, say, bleach or something else,
you'd ruin
I would have ruined the whole batch.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's the great thing about 5 Star.
Yeah.
It's made for idiots like us who don't know how to brew.
It's us veteran idiots.
Right.
Yeah.
We still do it.
I'm not just an idiot. I'm a veteran idiot. I've been an idiot a long time.
Long enough to know better than to do this, but we did it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have our commercial calibration, but before we do that, we're going to get to our homebrew, and we have Rob on the line. Rob, are you here, buddy?
Yeah, right here.
All right. Good, man. How are you?
Doing all right.
Awesome, man. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
So,
East Coast.
What's that?
A little late here on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah. I know. Sorry about that.
No problem.
We made him wait till the late show.
And we get a lot of East Coasters. It's hard to juggle you all. There was a couple Midwesters in the last one, but you guys love sending in your beer, and I appreciate that.
It's cold. We got nothing.
There's some nor'easters.
You got nothing to do, man. So we are drinking a Belgian wheat beer with Brett.
Yeah, 100% Brett.
100% Brett. Okay. How long have you been homebrewing?
Been brewing coming up on 3 years right now.
Okay, 3 years. Okay. Yeah, I think the 2 to 3 year mark is when you start doing weird crap like this. You know what I mean? Like,
because you're tired of doing the stouts and the pale ales.
Yeah, because you're just doing kits, and you go to a homebrew shop, and what I used to tell people is brew a dark beer because it'll hide your flavors a little bit, and you kind of get your confidence, and then move into the pales or whatever. And I think after a year or two of doing that, and you go, dude, I'm gonna just nail this, whatever the hell it is, and you start getting this weird. So I think 3 years is really, Have you ever done anything like this before?
This is my second 100% Brett. And my second beer throwing jalapenos in it. But other than that, no, I mean, this is kind of...
There's jalapenos in this?
Yeah, I put jalapenos towards the end of the
You
barrel.
didn't tell me that.
A little bit. Towards the end of the boil, sorry.
Did you tell me that?
I hope I did.
I don't think you
get that
did.
Now I get it.
Oh, okay. Shit. No, you...
Here I was, JP, grasping at straws as to, did it come from the yeast? Where did he get this weird green peppery flavor in his beer?
Yeah, the weird green peppery
Easiest
flavor.
esters ever.
That might have been my fault.
Oh, no. Well, we'll have to get you on next month. Okay, we'll call you back.
Well, look, see, this is the part about judging that nobody sees.
Got him
right?
here.
You need to know. We need to know. And this is, in your defense, Rob, you filled out your form just fine.
So whose fault was this?
Mine.
Again. Yet again.
It's my fault.
No. Okay.
So I'm smelling and going, God, there's a green pepper.
Yeah.
I was telling you right before the show, it's the weirdest thing. There's a strong green pepper,
but it's prickly,
and it's prickly.
There's a prickly, and now it makes sense. So Brian, why don't you?
Okay.
So, since you can just adjust on the fly, we'll let Doc take a couple minutes to adjust.
I received a bottle from JP that was labeled as a 28A, and
I didn't label that.
Well, it was given to me by JP, and all it has on the cap, it says RS, and it's 28A. So,
yeah,
I thought, okay, yeah, it was. I didn't know, but I thought, okay, well, let's start with Brett beer here, the 2015 guidelines, and start judging it there. And just as a straight Brett beer, we didn't have a declared base style, but now I understand it's a Belgian wheat. So. The bottle appeared bottle conditioned. It had a nice hiss when it opened up. And instantly, just right up front, you get the aroma of the green bell pepper, jalapeno kind of aroma right up front there. And it's got a bit biting and spicy. The funk in this is pretty faint. It's maybe a slight bit of hay-like, but not obvious barnyard. Funky, sweaty, goaty. It does not seem too sour or tart in the aroma either, and just kind of low malt and hops overall, just kind of nondescript underneath the peppers, and just a little bit of some yeast character in there. But yeah, there's just a little kind of hay-like. Anyway, I got into the appearance is a light straw color. This sample is pretty hazy. It's not insanely so, but the bottle that I judged at home was actually pretty clear. I think I had more time to settle in my fridge. Had a low off-white head that faded really quickly in the glass, but it kept building itself back up inside the bottle and was regenerating. So I had mostly finer bubbles, and it was I was just like creeping up in the neck of the bottle there. In the flavor, I'm getting like a lemoniness to it.
Oh yeah. It
was moderately sour. And then it has this cidery taste that made me second guess myself. I looked at that cap that said 28A. I went to my 2008 style guidelines and I said, New England cider. And I switched over to Dr. Cider. I think it's a damn cider. It was the weirdest thing, but where the pepper thing was coming from, I still didn't know. But anyway, so,
I did this on purpose, just to mess with you.
As a cider, it appears, bottle condition, light straw color, very clear, appearance size. Green peppers, again, biting, spicy character. It was possibly a bit meaty in there. It has kind of an autolysis kind of character to it. The yeast is chewing on itself. It has a low biting sour apple note underneath the green pepper. There was some green apple that was obvious in here. They're definitely getting some acetaldehyde, which is you ever have the Jolly Green or the green Jolly Ranchers candy? That's what acetaldehyde tastes like. And the flavor had just a low appley flavor, green pepper, green apple, some low alcohol.
All the green things.
So, and it was lemony tasting. It's an interesting mix. It was not very. It's not very tart in the flavor. It's somewhat tart, but it's not extremely soured or it's not going to melt anyone's teeth. So it's somewhat low acidity, but it's got a little acidity in there. So
yeah, there's a tart thing happening for sure.
We didn't check the pH here in the studio, but yeah, I wonder what it would taste like without the green peppers in there. It's the odd duck standing out here to me. I don't know why. I don't know. We'll have to talk about the inspiration of what made you want to throw green. Maybe you love jalapenos, and a lot of people do. I love spicy food. But, with a Brett beer, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I think it might be too much of the meat of the inside of the pepper. like when you
body of the
like the white part, but like the white part in the ring, right? Maybe too much of the pith, for lack of a better term. I don't know what it is, like the part that the seeds cling on.
I call it the pithy part.
Yeah, because it's it has a vegetally kind of cooked vegetable flavor to it.
Yeah, but there's a good jalapeno flavor, and then it kind of goes into that white part too much, maybe.
Right, and again, it's got a little bit of cidery kind of aftertaste to it, a little appley, lemony. There's a lot of fruits in here, along with everything else, and it's the body's kind of medium, but it feels fairly substantial with everything that's going on in there. It seems to be quite dry, with little remaining sweetness. So, I don't know overall impression. It seems like there's an ingredient that must have given some flavor of peppers, or it could be something coming from the yeast, like a certain saison's yeast will kick off a green pepper-like flavor. Sometimes if you're working with coffee or other things that have a lot of different flavors in it, we'll do something interesting like that, but or certain dark malts, but there's no dark malts or coffee in this, so I was grasping at straws as to where that pepper flavor came from. Thank you for settling that for us. Yeah, so I'm interested in what strain of bread it is, if you know, and where it came from, and but yeah, it's an interesting animal. It's a experimental beer for sure. So I didn't know where to put it, so I scored it a 19. And granted, we were given very little information.
Yeah. So with the new information, please adjust, because it's not fair for Rob to suffer because I'm stupid.
There's a Brett beer with a jalapeno. There's some odd. The vegetal thing I don't like. The lemony is nice.
It really is, actually, yeah.
The green apple.
Is that from Brett, you think? Is that from the Brett C, I think, right? You put in this, Rob?
Yeah.
I think it would be Brett is a yeast. It's a yeast-derived ester, I would say, and it's a nice one, and that's part of what makes the beer nice. And the acetaldehyde shouldn't be there. It's a green apple flavor. It comes from early yeast process. I think that it might have backed off a little bit. Like this sample that I'm tasting now tastes different than it did a month or so ago when we first tasted it. So it might be improving. I don't know if it's a young Brett beer that's still kind of in its aging process, or if you've had it going for a long time. But we definitely want to talk to you about what your process is and where you're going with that. So I would still score it in the 20s, just because to me it's not a harmonious marriage of the jalapeno peppers with a solid, what I classically think of as a Brett character. It's either an odd Brett strain, or you captured some wild Brett out in the forest and cultured it and brought it back to the civilization. I don't know, but I'm sorry that the way we judged it was a little limited, but I hope we're still I'm giving what descriptors I can for the beer, and now knowing what it is, I understand it a little bit better. So I'd probably score it more in the kind of lower to mid 20s, I think, but rather than the teens. So it's an interesting beer. I don't know. Yeah, I want to hear Doc's impressions of it here. Doc.
All right. When I first got this thing, just from the smell and just everything, I had to sneak up on this beer. And now it makes more sense with the jalapenos in there.
Yeah.
Because first, I'm looking at the bottle. It's a low fill, residue on the neck of the bottle on the inside, heavy sediment in the bottom of the bottle. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Okay.
The aroma, I got a heavy lactic aroma and not a Brett smell too, and that can be somewhat from the peppers too, because it makes a little more sense now. I got solventy flavors in there. Just maybe from a hot ferment, possibly.
Okay.
A lot of apples. Lots of apples. In fact, at one point, I thought it was a cider.
I didn't get you both got it. I didn't get it.
There's a lot of fruitiness in there.
Fruitiness,
behind the lemon, there's an apple.
There's an apple in there, and I was it was almost fresh apples more than just acetaldehyde.
Green apple.
Green apple. Yeah. And
okay.
So
I'll try to find it.
But the peppery thing, I'm not digging it. It's just sorry, it's not. So let's go to the appearance. It's very light in color, almost like a Berliner Weiss color.
Yeah,
and it's cloudy, pretty damn cloudy. Not opaque or chunks or anything floating in it, but it's pretty cloudy, which that can be okay too.
It works.
Yeah, it still works. Definitely no head retention. I mean, it just went flat immediately. Definitely spritzy, but no head retention. And you're saying it's a wheat beer. With a decent amount of wheat, you should get at least
fluffy head.
Yeah, you should get. That's why we throw wheat in beers, is to get more head retention, especially if you have a high protein beer.
Yeah, is it? You think it's because of the the oils from the jalapenos?
Probably the oils from the peppers are killing
from the
it.
peppers.
That could be
too.
It could be a lot of things. I'll get to the end of that possibly. So, flavor wise, no hops, no malt, very dry, no beeriness. And I thought I could have told you it was a cider. Really tart cider.
And you would have bought it for sure.
Yeah. More apple notes in the flavor, but cidery apples more in the flavor. It's different than the smell. It's kind of old apples, maybe. It's kind of
classic New England apples, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
like you bite it and you leave it, and you kind of you cut them and you leave them out, and they're kind of yellowed a little bit, like oxidized, I guess.
Like
okay,
that.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So.
Bruised apple rind.
Yeah. There
New
you go.
England bruised apple wine.
Yeah.
So it's more than just that fresh apple. It was different, but definitely appley. Very dry and it was just dead dry to me.
Yeah.
The jalapenos. Now that I got that one, it's still very. You can taste them too.
Yeah.
And still not digging it. So. But I got green apple in there again with the flavor, along with that other apple flavor. I got both kind of going in that. The mouthfeel, I thought it was thin, cidery, aftertaste. Sharp from the peppers. Not digging it. Still, but I got a very, just overall impression. I got a very strong lactic odor. It just kind of detracts from everything, and that's a lot probably from the peppers. And I thought it was something else too in there. Overwhelmingly peppery. Probably is too much of that. Not digging it, but I'm.
So are you digging the?
No, I'm not digging it.
No.
Robbie, I think you broke Doc.
Yeah, but the big thing, I think, the overall impression is I'm not getting a lot of Brett out of this thing.
Yeah.
Yet there's a lot of sour, a lot of dryness, a lot of cloudiness, and I'm thinking wild yeast got in there too. Brett could take a long time for you to get your Brett quality, your Brett stuff to come through.
It takes a while to chew and all that stuff, and you want to leave something residual for it to chew through. But if it's an all Brett beer, it will have.
You still should get your Brett characteristics, and that's your barnyardy stuff and your stuff. I'm getting none of that in here.
It likes the longer chain starches too, like that.
But it'll chew through things that regular Saccharomyces isn't going to chew. That's where you get a really dry beer anyway. But wild yeast to do the same thing, but it won't give you the Brett characteristics. So, I'm just thinking maybe you got some wild yeast in here too, along with the Brett, because it's got a lot of the bready stuff, which is the dryness, the sourness. That kind of thing, the thin body and all that, but I'm just not getting any bread out of it that should have come along with it. So, so I originally put it in the 15 range.
Yeah.
But since now I know it's pepperies, and that explains a lot.
Right.
And so I moved it up to the 24.
Okay. Okay, good.
So,
You got a lot of explaining to do there.
All right, Rob. So let's talk about the peppers first. What did you... well, I don't even know where to start, because this beer is so It's such a different animal than I think we've ever had on the show before.
Yeah, it's definitely.
It's definitely crazy. So, what made you decide to do a wheat beer with Brett and then the jalapenos? Just kind of fooling around, or were you inspired by something?
Or is your roommate the guy that made the candied ginger pumpkin beer?
No, nothing like that. No. I wasn't too happy with the Brett Clausen I was doing. I had a pale ale that just tasted like straight pineapple juice. I'm thinking maybe if I add a little spice and kind of just go with a real basic, almost Berliner type recipe. Because, I mean, this recipe was like 50% Belgian Pils, 25% wheat, 25% oats.
That's a lot of oats.
Sorry, 10% oats. And the rest was acid.
Okay.
Acidulated malt. Yeah, just to get that pH down.
Okay.
And, I thought, I don't know, I just had the jalapenos. I enjoyed them. They're from my father-in-law's garden. I thought it would kind of play fun, kind of be almost like a Mexican topache type thing going on.
Yeah. And
did you put them in fresh, or did you blanch them, or do anything to the process?
I put them in fresh. I mean, I chopped them up.
Like you did,
seeds out and those little membranes and all that stuff. It was really just the greenness going in, and just last 10 minutes of the boil, threw them right in.
Okay, so I would honestly keep the seed, take the white parts out, keep the seeds, and maybe not boil them 10 minutes. I don't know, maybe in Whirlpool or something like that, because you're getting that flavor that tastes like we were saying, that pithy cinder white part that is too green
from the vegetable,
like green bell peppery. And there is plenty of kind of that.
It's got spice to it.
I think you're on your way.
Peppery, but
I think you're on your way to a pretty cool little beer combination. Definitely don't want to knock it, but I think that there's a subtlety with adding the jalapenos that this kind of doesn't hit. But you're on the right track.
Got it.
Yeah, I've seen people have luck with blanching the peppers and doing it that way, and then adding them. You want to. The fresh pepper is going to give a vegetal taste to it like that. So and there's a substantial amount of them in there that it's very obvious. But it's not that it's too spicy. I mean, I've had pepper beers that are just, you can't drink them, and this is not there. It's just
it's very easily drinking.
Yeah, the combination with the Brett is an odd thing, like the lemoniness with the vegetable. It's like a vegetable and fruit juice mixed together in a weird combination. I was like, why would someone do that?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, but I like the wheat. I think I like the wheat beer concept, but maybe with like an actual yeast, like a beer yeast, maybe. And
keep it to a sack.
Yeah. Or I mean, if you want to do the pineapple, thing, maybe put a little pineapple juice in it. I don't know, but that might be too bizarre.
So,
I don't know.
Yeah. What's the Brett strainer? Where did you get your Brett?
This was the White Labs Clausen. I did like just a good week-long starter, really let it go. Yeah. And, this was thrown right onto a cake of... So, this was a yeast cake from a Brett Pale that I had done right before it.
Okay.
That one I was really disappointed with. And so I thought maybe kind of throwing it on the cake, we'd get some more complexity, some funkiness that I don't think I really got.
If you're disappointed with a beer, it's never a good idea to throw another beer on top of the yeast cake. Dump that down the drain and start over.
I think that could have been the downfall too.
Because I see the vision.
Have gotten loose in there. Some other wild yeast.
I'm pretty sure there's another wild yeast in there. It's just not behaving like it should.
Brett is very slow acting, and if you get just a little bit of yeast in there getting happy, it'll just take over before the Brett gets a chance to chew through too much, and it doesn't seem like it chewed through very much.
Yeah.
I see the vision.
I do too, It's interesting.
So try it again.
Try it again.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for the guys, Rob?
No. I think, if I want to go with more funky, you think I should go with a different strain of Brett, or should I just kind of try the Clausen again with maybe better sanitation, or just going straight from the starter? Not do the whole cake thing.
I'd just go from the starter, especially a starter you trust, rather than the cake. What didn't you like about the first beer that the cake was on?
It was just there was a lot of hops in there, but it just tastes like pineapple juice after not that long. I just didn't get it. It was a lot of mosaic hops, and I was hoping for. I know it wasn't going to be too bitter, but I was hoping for more bitterness, and it was really one note. I just did not enjoy it at all. I dumped a lot of it.
This does have a little tropical nature to it as well. It's you know, I could say pineapple alongside that lemony thing. You know, or pineapple almost instead of the lemon. It's got something sharp and
fruity.
Like citrus fruit to it.
All right.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, give it another shot, Rob.
Well, I don't know that I would. So I don't know that I would do the pepper with the Brett. What you might want to do is the pepper with a lighter style, like a blonde ale.
Okay.
And just have the pepper shine through, and maybe do a little processing. You know, scrape the seeds and maybe a little of the skins, and blanch them and throw it in there, and get it to a point where it's not too spicy. I mean, this isn't. So, and then, or you could do, instead of pepper, just, you know, get a Brett nice and happy in this beer, and with the right Brett, and, you know, maybe some other fruit or something interesting in there instead of the peppers. I don't know, but like the fruit and the vegetable are not playing happily together, sadly. But it's an interesting idea. If I was like, if it had been, I wish it. Well, it should have been presented to me properly. It's, you know, we still, I think we're able to judge it, but it's
damn you, JP.
Yeah, no, it's,
I know.
we can only give JP so much of a hard time.
Well, that's true.
He's got to do this month in and month out, and hurt all you cats out there in the internet world. And,
yeah,
but okay.
Yeah. All right, Rob.
That was a fun beer, though.
Thanks, man.
All right, glad you guys enjoyed.
All right, buddy.
Kind of enjoyed. Except didn't dig it at all.
Right, Doc didn't dig it at all.
Keep on rolling.
Yeah. All right, thanks, man.
All right, you got it.
Bye. Cool, good beer. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, fellow BNers. This is Sully from the 21st Amendment Brewery located in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park. Before Nico and I opened the 21A and before I was a professional brewer, I homebrewed on my small 4-burner apartment stove in a back house in Santa Monica, California, making my extract brews before graduating to the daunting idea of all-grain brewing. Homebrew books and information was hard to come by back then. The internet hadn't been invented yet, along with other things we take for granted today, like electricity and potable water. One thing I wish I had back then when I was learning was a radio show that could teach me the ins and outs of brewing and answer questions that I had about homebrewing, a resource for making great craft beer. The 21st Amendment Brewery is excited to be a proud sponsor of Dr. Homebrew, a great show that teaches you what you need to know about making incredible beer. Good stuff. Listen up, you might learn something. I certainly did. And thanks for your support. Tasty Crack Games.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states, plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Now, back to the examination.
everyone. Thanks for hanging out, throwing coasters in the studio like true radio professionals.
Oh, yeah. Got to keep it fun in here. Keep it light.
You got to keep it light. Speaking of keeping it light, Doc, we're going to do our commercial calibration with Pilsner Urquell. I think it's how you pronounce it.
Urquell.
Urquell, right?
We need some light rock to go with this light beer, like maybe some Hall & Oates.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Some Toto.
Yeah.
Let's get some Toto, baby.
Hey, please.
Doc loves Toto. If you ever want to get Doc a gift,
no, please.
Always Toto-related merchandise. Some signed this or that or whatever. Okay, so what we do here from time to time is do the commercial calibration, where essentially we're just going through it like a normal beer according to the BJCP guidelines to try to help you guys, dial in your palates. This is kind of what, Brian, this is what you kind of do at the beer judging classes, right? You do this same kind of thing. You run through commercial beers, right?
No, it's not.
It's not? Shit. I'm so
Actually, what
stupid.
we do in the beer judging classes is we give people a beer, and we let them taste it and throw out descriptors, and then we tell them what the style is, and then we discuss it as the style. So, yeah, I'm sorry. We do partially do that. And we
Thanks,
talk
Brian.
about what's there and then what's supposed to be there.
Thanks for throwing me a bone.
I know. You're welcome.
This is what I did in my training classes leading up to the test, which is probably why I got a 66. You bring in specific stuff and you focus on a style. But anyway, that's what we're doing. So I asked you guys to get some Pilsner Urquells. And then Lupe's in here stealing our figures. Lupe's stealing our shit.
You can have it, Dora.
You can have it. There you go.
Cheers.
And so, follow along, man. Grab your Pilsner, get it into a style-appropriate glass. And, let's start it off. Brian, what are we doing, though? Because we have two sets.
Well, I happen to have from one of our beer judging 101 classes, and if you want to friend us on Facebook, it's facebook.com/beerjudging101 is my work with Dave Teckham, who is my judging mentor. But anyway, we got some classes coming up, blah, 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 blah. Anyway.
Yay, plug away. This is your show.
We're doing a class in Sacramento coming up for a Sac Beer Week. Look us up.
Beer Judge 101.
Beer Judging 101.
Beer Judging 101.
On Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
All right, got it.
You can friend us there. Or fan of whatever. I don't know.
Like it.
Anyway.
Just say like it. Well, the kids these days know.
So this is the older. So we have 2 bottles of Pilsner Urquell. It's February right now as we're recording this. We have a bottle that's good through July 31st of 2016.
Okay.
We have another bottle that's good through May 9th of 2016. We're going to taste both of them and try to detect differences and, freshness issues or not in either of these beers. So, wait, what was the initial question?
There was no question. Oh, what are we doing?
You made a statement and you shot him
What
down.
are we doing? Yes. When we
have two different beers, and you addressed it.
When we do commercial calibrations, we just kind of go through the beer as a judge would, and we kind of try to give you a general picture of what the beer style is to a beer judge. So in the 2008 guidelines, this was called a Bohemian Pilsner. And in the 2015 updated style guidelines from the BJCP, this is category 3B, the Czech Premium Pale Lager. And they have a whole section, a whole category. Category 3 is all Czech lagers. And when I went to the Czech Republic, and I was kind of happy they did this. There's a lot more than just pills there. It's like, it's more of what the new guidelines have done is they've gone to more of a wide world, beer style presentations as opposed to just an Americanized view of, the Czechs, they make a good pills, and but they make dark beers, they make amber lagers, they make a lot of good lagers there. So
So we tended to focus on one.
We used to tend to focus
style.
on one, but you can find a lot more. It's hard to get here.
Yeah.
I wish it was easier to get because some of the dark lagers are stunningly wonderful. Anyway, I digress. A Czech Premium Pale Lager is it's a rich, characterful pale Czech lager with considerable malt and hop character and a long, rounded finish, complex yet well-balanced and refreshing. Malt flavors are complex for a Pilsner-type beer, and the bitterness is strong but clean and without harshness, which gives a rounded impression that enhances drinkability. So there's a lot of history on that. You can read in the BJCP guidelines. I recommend everybody that's out there listening to us, if you don't already, download to your smart device the BJCP guidelines and just read along as you're tasting beers out there, commercial examples or homebrews that you've made or a friend has made, and try to understand the beers better because it really does help. So, Pilsner Urquell, who's starting?
You are.
Okay.
You might as well. You're on a roll, baby. I don't want to.
Yeah, he's on fire.
You're lit right now.
In the aroma, so I'm tasting the fresh one. That's what I had, the freshest we could find from Safeway. Fresh bready malt, a bit of kind of a honey-like aroma in there. The tiny hint of diacetyl to me. Doc gets that more easily than I do. But I think it's okay to the style. You can have a little diacetyl, which is an artificial butter kind of aroma to this style, and it's okay. So I get a whiff of that. I do get a little whiff of sulfur along in there, too, as you can with some lagers with a lot of Pils malt. It's pretty much in check. It's just an undertone, but it's there.
In check.
In check, yeah. When you were saying, check out the 5-star, I was like, yeah, was that a pun? Anyway, I will stop saying that word. So I'm getting a moderate spicy and kind of a perfume-like note from the hops. It's pretty medium-like. It's towards moderate in there. It's not a non-hoppy beer. It's not just like a Munich Helles. All you get is the malt. It's got a lot going on. Clean lager profile. No obvious esters noted. No green apple. No obvious like alcohol sticking out. It's like a 5%. Actually, this is like 4.4% beer. So you're not going to get any alcohol in the aroma. Till you get up towards 6.5, 7, you're going to start smelling the alcohol. Then it's not there. Just a very, very faint hint of some paper in the aroma, which could be a little oxidation. In the appearance, you got a rich orangey gold color with a fizzy-looking kind of soda-like white head that faded fairly soon after pouring it in the glass I had, both when I judged it at home and then here. But it is brilliantly clear, and if you ever get a Pils, anything presented as a Pilsner that has a hint of cloudiness in it, that is the flaw. Like, you should see your finger on the other side of the glass with perfect clarity. I'm looking at my magnified ring finger on the opposite side of this glass, and it's just perfectly clear. It looks orange, but it's clear. In the flavor, it's got a nice bready malt with a moderately strong bitterness, actually. Not like an IPA, but, and kind of presents itself differently than an IPA because of the water, but we'll talk about that. It does have a pretty dry finish. It finishes out pretty low. And, these beers, well, they should have some sweetness in them. They should be, not dry as a bone. And it does have a little bit, so it's kind of like semi-dry to me, but it's such a low beer. Low starting gravity. I'm not sure how far this one goes down to. I have to put it in our hydrometer and check it sometime, but check it.
You're on a roll. Start calling you butter.
Yeah. I would say it's balanced to the hops.
Because you're on a roll.
The hop flavors are smooth and rounded and subdued. It's like a nice, pleasant spiciness against the malt and the malt sweetness that's there. And the bitterness is there too, but it's also refreshing and it's light. So it's a really nice summer beer. It's got a little diacetyl in there, and I think that also adds to the complexity. If you're not offended by a little diacetyl with your beer, it kind of gives this roundedness to the beer that works. It's not to the point where it's offensive or harsh, but it works with this beer, and it's okay in this style. If you don't like it, if you don't like diacetyl, you're not going to like. This beer isn't heavy in it, so you may not like it as much as others that have less of this. There are other styles that have no diacetyl in them, or other examples of the Czech premium pale lager. Anyway, I digress again. It's very light oxidation in the beer, though, as well. It's like a papery. It's not, oxidation has various stages. It starts kind of honey-like, progresses to a little bit of a paperiness, and then it's like wet paper, and then it goes to cardboard,
and then even to
beyond that,
sherry.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So,
okay. All right.
There's various stages of that. This is in the early stages, showing some oxidation flavor. And when you put a beer that's been filtered, as this beer obviously has been, into a bottle, And as careful as they are to get their oxygen down to 3 parts per million or whatever, or parts per billion, I don't know where they're at.
Per billion, I think.
Probably per billion at this point in life, yeah. It's still going to work on that beer, and it can only go downhill from there. So I'm going to taste the aged example here briefly. And so it's a little more, the aged example is a little more wet paper. And it's still not past the expiration date.
That's the hard part about
it's
import.
Creeping up a little bit. It's not.
Remember when we used to fawn in America over imported beers?
Yeah.
And they've always tasted like this.
It was a skunky,
we thought they're supposed to be
oxidized mess. And they're like, hey, this is what import beer tastes like.
Right.
Awesome.
It's
so
imparted. Great. You know what? The first thing I get out of the older one or whatever it is, the one we just tried, SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
Like kind of tin, like from the can, but with spaghetti sauce, for lack of a better term, and tin can. SpaghettiOs. I don't know. Now I'm hungry. Anyway, continue.
So last time you had SpaghettiOs.
It's all I can afford. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Justin eats rum and I eat SpaghettiOs.
Anyway.
Good to know.
The mouthfeel.
Invite me over for dinner.
Okay, good.
Can I please talk about the beer, guys?
Yes.
I mean, I know, in your bachelor... In my bachelor days, I used to eat a lot of SpaghettiOs. I know you're married now, and you probably still keep those bachelor habits. Because you got married too late in life.
That's true.
You're 38, JP.
Yeah.
What was that?
Grow up.
Never.
I was 37 at the time. Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Medium light body with medium carbonation, only a faint hit of astringency, probably from the hops. There's no alcohol warmth. It's smooth, but not really creamy or silky. Like there's the hops are kind of pushing up in there, giving you kind of a, some phenolic character in there. Not, just the plant material kind of gives you that lightly astringent mouthfeel, but not to a point of offense. So it's not very creamy or silky, but it's still refreshing. It's kind of crisp.
Okay.
But a little bit of slickness from the diacetyl. Overall, though, I think it's a wonderfully brewed Czech premium pale. And all the fine points I made about the oxidation and the astringency, these are just minor things, honestly. It's a pretty good example, and we got a pretty fresh example that has a long ways to the expiration date. But you do want to check those dates. And if it's past, you definitely don't want to buy it.
If it tastes like this, post or pre-deadline, past is going to suck.
This you can absolutely drink smoothly, and it feels like the style, but it's not like what you get when you're there. So it's different.
Yeah.
It's made with the classic ingredients there, the right spicy hops. They usually use it's the Zaz hops and Bohemian malt. So Pils malt. All those classic ingredients are here. It's got the flavors from those, hitting all the marks. Just seems to suffer just a little bit from the long travel and storage. And it was stored at warm temperatures. I looked for something that was stored cold, but I couldn't find it. Actually, I didn't get this at Safeway. I got it at Bevmo. And I reached way into the back and got the one that had been the most shaded, even though it's brown bottles.
I did exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I found it at Bevmo, and I reached into the back that got the one.
I checked all the dates on every six-pack.
Yep.
Anyway, but yeah. So the oxidation is creeping up just a little touch, and I don't know if everyone out there is going to get that, but just look for a little bit of paper in there, and it's easy to notice a small amount of that in a light style such as this. Still, it's an excellent version of the style. When you taste this fresh, it is a world-class example of the style. But I scored this a 42. It has a little room for improvement because of the light, the defect that's creeping in from the just being in a bottle that long and traveling that far, and warm temperatures, storage. It's not gonna taste as fresh as when you get it from the tap in the Czech Republic. So that's Bohemian Pilsner / Czech Premium Pale Lager.
Okay, what score would you give this beer?
I gave it a 42, just as it is in the bottle. I'd probably give the aged version like a 39. Even though that one's not expired, it's a little more obvious that it's aging and getting a little. It's not cardboardy or anything. It's just a little more papery, and some of the hop flavors are declining. It should be the bitterness should be fairly high, and it starts to decline as it ages too.
Yeah. It seems pretty firm.
It is pretty firm. In the fresher example, you can taste it. And the other one, you get more of that kind of honey-like flavor.
Yeah.
And, a little oxidized. But, yeah, it's not heavy oxidation. Anyway, but with the water that they have there, it's nice and soft. There's very, very few ions dissolved in the water at all. It's like some of the softest water in the world. And that's where they can get away with pushing the hop up so substantially and still having it be a very refreshing beer. So, if this had a lot of sulfates and a lot of, chlorides and carbonate and huge calcium in it, it would be a totally different animal. You should try to brew a Czech Pils with 2 different waters and just see how different it is. You want to, if you're making one of these, you want to probably blend, like your home water, if it's just kind of moderate, typical water, about 25% of that with just RO, and just keep it nice and soft so all your minerals are down to a super low level, and then it's going to shine a lot better. So
okay, Doc, you're up, buddy.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I was surprised to find it in a brown bottle.
Yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised that I got no skunkiness out of this whatsoever.
Isn't it amazing?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I was expecting, the Heineken bomb.
It's been a while since we've had one like this.
It's been a while, and there's no sulfur. I got maybe slight from the lager yeast, but not like that skunky, sulfury smell. And
the H2S rotten egg thing, or
the mercaptans.
Or the mercaptans, yeah.
So that I was just on the aroma. It made everything else come out so much more. It was pretty nice. So I got sweet malty with the cereal notes. That's kind of known for the Pilsner malt. Hop aroma. It's not overwhelming, but you got to kind of hunt for it somewhat. It's going to be it's spicy. I even got like a little woody in there.
Maybe from the oxidation.
Yeah. And a couple other things kind of combined in there. But you're definitely not going to get fruity hops or anything out of this kind of thing.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Or even some of the German hops can be kind of minty, so you're not going to get that either.
Okay.
Definitely diacetyl.
Yeah.
Just comes right through. It's almost nutty smelling to me. To me, it kind of tastes like, or smells like macadamia nuts.
Okay. All right.
And I smell this one, and I get this nuttiness, and it just smells like
macadamia nuts.
Buttery macadamia nuts.
Okay.
That's just comes right through.
All right.
We found the pecans. No.
There they are. So, appearance, brilliantly clear.
Yeah.
This thing couldn't have been scrubbed any better.
It's none of that East Coast IPA garbage.
Yeah. I didn't get much head retention on it. It just kind of falls flat. There's not much in this beer to hold. There's not much proteins. There's not much anything in there. It's just basically Pilsner malt.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get in much on that to even hold that through. Flavor, I got grainy, nice clean bitterness, substantial, dryish. I wouldn't say it's super dry, but it's kind of clean. Cuts off right at the end. How do you describe it? It's just not empty at the end, but the flavor stops. And it's kind of nice. It just kind of ends on that. Definitely lightly oxidized on this model. The other model's got some more into it. Paper is a good one for that one. It's not.
Yeah, every time too. This beer every time.
Yeah, these things have probably gone through the Panama Canal in one of those hot boxes, and it's been months, so it's not been handled well. I would love to get one that was handled well or fresh over there.
Shipped cold in a keg.
Or even shipped cold in a keg. That'd be awesome.
Amazing. Well, so the German joint up here, I don't know if you guys have been there. DJ's, it's a Czech place.
I've been there in a long time.
They have Spaten and Pilsner Urquell, and it's not super fresh, of course, because it just that's just what it is. It has to travel no matter what. Yeah. But it's not like this. They run through enough of it to where they can
going through it. Yeah.
So it's a little bit better than this.
I don't know what it is, but I think that beer, and I don't know why. I need to talk to someone who really knows their ass from a hole in the ground. But beer that has traveled in a larger container, I can tell the difference between a 22-ounce bottle of something and a 500 ml versus a 12-ounce. It's always better in the bigger container for some reason.
It probably has to do with the dissolved oxygen. There's just less per volume.
Right. They have to get it in that bottle, and there's added oxygen, the surface area to mass ratio, something. So it always seems better in the bigger the container.
I tell you,
22-ounce bottle, mini keg to full size keg. The difference it's progressive. You can really taste it.
That tall boy can I had a couple weeks ago was awesome. Yeah. It tasted good.
You bring home share. You didn't bring the share, did you?
No, because they open it for you and they hand it to you. Yeah. So what are you going to do?
So anyway, in the flavor, I just got lots of diacetyl. Yeah. And it's just, to me, it's hard to drink this beer.
It is.
It's not one of my favorite light lager styles. And you say that they have Spaten and this on there. I wouldn't even touch the Pilsner Urquell.
You go Spaten.
I love Spaten.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite all-time lagers. I drink that
Please,
all
guys,
day.
say Spaten.
Spaten.
Yeah.
I could Desert Island that beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'd be a happy man. So, but yeah, it's just part of the style. Brian and I were discussing, and why is that? We kind of figured out that maybe they're just not lagering as long as they need to. And they got a lot of beer they got to pump out.
Yeah.
Lager takes more time. It takes more money to let it sit there. So that could be a little bit of that. And it's part of the style, too. You're going to get it.
Yeah.
I just really hate it. And I taste it more than probably anybody else does. There's a few people out there I've met that taste it like me, like I do. And it's just most other people can taste it, but it's me. I just super taste it.
Yeah.
And once I've latched onto it, I just almost can't finish the beer anymore.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Well, one of the problems with diacetyl is it's very satiating. It makes you full. It makes you like, I don't want any more.
Yeah.
So not good if you're a beer brewer, because then nobody wants to buy a second beer.
Right.
So just kind of stay away. But it's normal for the style.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to hide. You can't hide behind anything in this beer.
No, not at all.
So I get kind of more of a creamy mouthfeel, mostly probably from the diacetyl. It's kind of slick to me. It's got a pretty good body to it. It's not too dry. It's kind of nice in that part. I get a little astringency maybe, probably from the hops. It's kind of just sharp to me, which is chop, probably the hops.
Yeah.
So just it's a standard example of a classic beer.
Yeah.
I just think it's just mishandled, and we're getting it like it is. So if you're going to get the classic calibration, this is what you're going to get. This is what everybody's going to get. So you might as well just.
This is what it is.
It's not perfectly
get used to it.
Just find the the freshest example that you can back and drink that, and it's going to be all right. If you're like, this could be your style, and
probably better on the East Coast.
It's got a great balance to it. There's a lot of flavor in it for such a light beer, and the diacetyl to most palates is not going to be as offensive as it is to Doc. To me, I taste it. I know it's there.
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't make me run the other way.
Most people are fine with it. Yeah, it's just that's why it detracts for me from the style of the beer.
Yeah, with hoppy beers, sometimes diacetyl is not a friend to hoppy beers because it just gives it that weird, the cheesy kind of flavor to hops that you get with aged hops. It's a weird combination, but this doesn't have it's mostly hop bitterness in here and a little bit of hop flavor, a little spice. So it doesn't offend as much as like a big citrus bomb IPA with a big buttery flavor that just
it just doesn't go together.
Yeah. So this, it still works for me, and it gives complexity.
So I give it a 37. Why? Because this is a classic example. It should be a 50.
Well,
it is the classic example. It should be a 50. But now we're starting to detract on because it's just not handled well.
Yeah.
We didn't get it. We got it right fresh out of the place that's brewing it. Be a different kind of thing.
And this is the beer that changed it all. Josef Groll invented this beer in 1842 and started pumping this stuff out there. And before that, there was no light lager. There was no light anything. Beer was reddish, brownish, or dark, black,
and
cloudy.
Right.
And people
just like those shitty East Coast IPAs.
There's a reason that it took off. It was, and maybe it took off too much for its own good to the point where in the 70s all we had was Bud, Coors, and Miller. In America, it's like okay, and Prohibition had a little to do with that, and we can do a whole other show on that.
Rainier,
Schlitz,
love Rainier. Yeah, Schlitz is real good.
Yeah,
I like it.
PBR.
Yeah.
So they're out there. So it spawned some good things or some bad things. Mediocre things.
It's a great beer. It's definitely carried its weight. It's made it this long.
Inspired the world to like beer.
But I'm judging this
particular beer.
Yes.
And what I find getting this commercially is that it will vary. It not only can, but it does. It will just vary from time to time. So don't run off from it, and maybe try to get it on draft. But
if you get it on draft someplace and the place isn't pushing it very fast,
right? Sits in that line.
It's not going to be okay.
It's tough, man. Some beers don't travel well. This
so don't judge it all at once.
Just need to go to Europe and get it there.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Along with a lot of other good beers over there, but
okay, we have to take our last break, which is here, and then we will be. Right back, we have to give Rob his grog tag gift certificate and then just basically say goodbye. So anyway, Dr. Homebrew, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Admit it. Homebrewing is not always free of frustrations. Years ago, brothers Bill and Jim Mitchell decided to minimize those frustrations and create an entirely new brewing process and a brand new kitchen appliance, the Pico Brew Zymatic. The Zymatic sits on your kitchen counter and connects to the internet via Wi-Fi. It comes with access to a huge recipe library full of award-winning beers and can brew your next batch at the push of a button. Improve repeatability and refine your recipes with the Pico Brew Zymatic. With minimal cleaning and hassle, the Zymatic enables anyone to brew craft beer in the comfort of their own kitchen. Just add your ingredients and the process of homebrewing becomes simplified and automatic, allowing you to focus on what really matters while you brew. At Pico Brew, they believe everyone should be able to enjoy the art of homebrewing and make their own damn good craft beer. See the Zymatic in action today at picobrew.com.
Hey, dude, you know what beer this is?
No, all the labels are falling off.
Yeah, or the ink is run.
Well, if it's the pale ale, you're good, but stay away from the quote-unquote Belgian.
Oh, man, this guy needs to get some grog tags.
Grog tags are reusable, write-on, wipe-off, commercial-grade bottle labels for your brew. The guys at Grog Tag are homebrewers. They wanted great-looking, sturdy labels for your bottles, buckets, carboys, kegs, and growlers. They also wanted a label that not only looks good, but can be easily removed and reapplied during bottling without that nasty glue residue being left behind. No residue, water-resistant, and ice chest approved. Grog tags stay on in water or an ice chest, and they stay legible. Visit grogtag.com to customize your label or coaster from dozens of different templates for free and see how awesome your bottles can look.
It's that pseudo-Belgian.
Yeah, we're getting him some grog tags, dude.
Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. grogtag.com.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but we're going to have to pour you out.
Back to Dr. Homebrew.
All right, real fast, and then we're going to get out of here. Since we did the commercial calibration, and Rob was our only other, homebrew on, he wins the Grog Tag, $40. At least your beer will look good gift certificate. So, Rob, start getting your, your ideas for your labels ready, and then head over to grogtag.com. And I'll email Todd over there and hook you up, and you'll be rocking and rolling in no time, man.
Make a big metal sign with a big jalapeno on it.
Big old jalapeno metal sign.
Oh, we love you, man. Thanks for sharing it.
Yeah, it was a good time, man, for sure. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out. We did the Pilsner Urquell commercial calibration. We talked about the Brett jalapeno wheat beer thing. Brian, what's your beer judge deal again?
Beer Judging 101. So just go, facebook.com/beerjudging101. We got a link for our Sacramento class coming up February 28th there. So Sac Beer Week. They do some pretty good stuff up there. There's a lot of good breweries coming up in Sacktown. It's a nice area for that.
Awesome.
A lot better than it used to be.
That's cool. All right, everybody, before we take off, don't forget about our other Be-In shows. We got the session, and we have... Dr. Homebrew you already know about, and the Jamil shows and all that kind of stuff. So, there's something for everybody here on the Brewery Network.
When is the JP show going to start?
That's called Ears Up Podcast. You can go to earsuppodcast.com and learn all about Disney and Disneyland and all the kind of other stuff I
Doc,
do.
what random thing do you want to promote?
Oh, God, I don't know. The Brewski Cruise. That's coming up.
The Brewski Cruise. Yeah, well, by the time this show posts, we'll have been back.
Oh, God.
This is our first. This will be posted sometime in March, but...
Okay, well, how about the
Winter Brews Fest? Yeah, I think you can go to winterbrewsfest.com maybe and get tickets or whatever.
I think tickets went up today, which is...
Well, for sure when this post.
Exactly, it'll be up, and the website will be up, and hoping for great weather, and we've been blessed every other time. So,
yep. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you later.